In this lab, we are going to study about Metasploit and Snort. Metasploit is an intrusion penetration testing tool, and Snort is an IDS tool. These are the most common tools for checking intrusion. So now let's start by installing all the required packages, which is a LAMP server, OpenSSH server, phppeer, and then Snort, and then configuring Snort in sniffing mode, running it. So let's run the script to install all the softwares. So phppeer, MySQL, everything is getting installed. Now this is the configuration of Snort. We configure it to Snort to listen at Ethernet ports H0. This is the IP address, local network. Then we need it to be configured in promiscuous mode. So here the Snort is running in sniffing mode. Now we'll detect Nmap scans using Snort IDS. For that, let's use Nmap keyword. Then the IP address of the victim. This Nmap scan is done through the attacker console on the victim console. As we can see on the victim console here, the Snort logs all the Nmap scans that is done by the attacker. So this way we can detect that someone is accessing our system. On the attacker, we can see a report which says that the Nmap scan is done from the IP address 192.168.1.5, that is the IP address of the attacker, the latency, the number of ports that were used to reach, and the network distance 0 hops. So 0 hops mean that it could directly reach the victim. Now we stop the Snort IDS. So next step is to use Metasploit to check DOS attack, which is the denial of server attack. So for that, first we'll check the resolve file in that victim console. The entry is correct. Now we create a log directory in which the logging file will be found while the Snort is running and some attacker attacks his victim. So we run Snort in logging mode. Now we go to the attacker. We check the resolve.conf file on the attacker. So we have the name server IP correct. Now we run the Metasploit using the MSF console. So now as we see that the MSF console has opened, so here we will use synflood mode to exploit. Now we'll set the R host, that is the target address, to the IP address of our victim, and then exploit. We'll wait for 2-3 seconds for the attacker to exploit, while at the same time the Snort at the victim console will log the attack done by the attacker. Now we stop attack and go back to the attack victim console and stop Snort. Now we see the log directory. Here we can see a file named snort.log and with the ID which the Snort created while the attack was done. This logs all the information by the attack. We read this file using Snort in read mode with the name of the file. So this is the content of the file. Here we will see the IP address. So this is what the contents of the log file is. So we'll read the contents. Here we can see that the runtime for the packet processing was 7.9 seconds. That means that the exploit was run for this time. These are the contents of all the packets that was sent from the attacker. Here we can see the packet number. 8,000 packets was sent. Snort processed this much packets in 7 seconds on Ethernet port 8350 and TCP 8346 protocol was used. So here in this part we'll create Snort rules and use them. For that, let's start by creating a Snort rule. So here I've created 3 rules. 3 rules for Facebook.com, Google.com and ThoughtLab.org of alert option. Snort has 5 options: alert, dynamic, active, pass and log. So here we've specified that the rule alert will give a message, someone accessed whatever, and then when the protocol used a TCP, the source addresses any, we specified the source port. This is HTTP and this is HTTPS. The direction of the packets to any destination IP address and any port number. So we store these rules in rules folder of the Snort directory and we create an entry in our snort.conf file. So here the entry is made. Specify the path of the rule. So our next step is to check the Snort rules. For that, first we'll run our Snort. Specify the Snort conf file where we've included the rules and the input port Ethernet. So Snort is running. Now we'll check by accessing the addresses. First we'll start with facebook.com. Now we can see on terminal how this has reacted. So here we're getting the messages that someone has accessed Facebook. It has specified the SID which we gave, the source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port. So this destination information is of our terminal victim, as we have accessed the packets from this source of facebook.com. Now we check for the other rules. google.com. So here we've got google.com. Similarly, now we'll do for ThoughtLab. So here we've got the ThoughtLab messages also, similarly as with source IP and destination IP and the SID that we gave. So in this video we have learned how to use Snort, how to exploit using Metasploit, logging of alerts and messages. Thank you.